supposedly what you're looking at is either the first or second Koontz Reunion before it was held at the Beulah Church. This one was held, according to the description on the back of the plaque, is held at the John Koontz residence on Arnold Road. And that's all we have.
And who is this?
That is Nina and Addie Koontz.
You know about when that was taken?
That's about the same. It's about the same time as this picture was taken here.
Which was when?
God knows, I would somewhere in the 30, maybe 34 to 36 era.
And this was at the old John Koontz home place.
Yeah.
Which is on the corner of...
No, that was right at the curve on Arnold Road, right up from Hoover Road. That's where that picture was taken.
Hoover and Arnold?
Hoover and Arnold, about a block east of Hoover Road.
Hey, don't yell. Say, oh yeah.
I've been doing this since 95.
Mr. Sleepyhead.
He's trying to wake up. Caught a smile.
Hello, everybody. Sure, that was great. Believe it or not, this is the 78th Koontz Reunion. 78 years. And Johnny Koontz over here has got a photograph that everybody ought to take a look at, see if they can identify anybody in the photograph. It's an old one. And on the back of it, it says, part of it is torn off and it looks like reunion at John, what did you say, John? John Koontz's residence, John Koontz's home. Yeah. So if anybody wants to take a look at it and see if they can identify anything or anybody, that's great. Really, really great. Okay.
She's going. Oh, she's going.
Let's see.
president, I was elected secretary. We have a treasurer's report. Flowers were by Angie Maxine. And I never got the actual total of how many deaths we had. I meant to get that back.
That is last year.
I mean, I did it. I don't have it with me here. I don't remember.
I don't remember.
About four, wasn't it? I can't remember if we could write the names down in the minutes.
Oh, yeah, that would be good.
It's on tape.
Kathy, we'll get her a call later on.
Okay.
Get the names and we can write those right into the minutes, okay?
Okay, and I'll let her do the treasurer's report, because I wrote down one amount of being $985.49.
Was that right, Suzette?
And the basket was passed, and we'd opened it with, mentioned the videotapes again.
Okay, we'll get that from, date on that.
And we had birth announcements, which the youngest was Noah James. How do y'all tell me to say it? Lookabell.
Yours,
The oldest was, she was 93, was Lucille.
right beside you.
And I had traveled the farthest. And we had Jimmy said about the DVDs, 7 to 8 years. Patty's Memorial, one with the Christians, and we played the piano. It was Miss Friedel's. Played the piano.
That was a combination of notes. Oh, good. Should we set those minutes as read? Okay, Nana.
I'll second.
Thank you. Okay.
Oh, you will? Oh, I don't remember that. That's why I sit up here so I can watch somebody do it, and I'll second.
Okay, Lizette, could we get the treasurer's report?
We started off last year at $985.49. We paid out for the use of the fellowship hall and for gifts for the reunion. We collected $105 in offering last year. We had 49 cents of interest accrued this year. We paid Clifton Murphy $50. That was a gift that we had decided on to give him because he's doing it on his own free will and his own time, and we bless his heart for doing all this for it. And so our balance as of right now is $950.98. And if we want to, we'll go ahead and pass the basket and start taking the offering up, if you don't mind.
Let's try to get it up to over 1,000.
Let me start the other side and come back? Okay.
Easy.
We'll start with the money.
Yeah, there you go.
Very good.
Let's call it a donation, not an offering. Let's call it a donation, not an offering.
Okay, anybody want to make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as read?
I do.
Thank you, Patty. Patty, Patty made a motion to accept the treasurer's report as written. And anybody gonna second it?
Second.
celebrate today. We have all of our old tapes, all the tapes that we've had just back in the 80s are all on DVD now, thanks to Clifton Murphy. Clifton did a great job. The only problem with that is that we needed something to back it up with. Clifton suggested that we buy a separate remote hard drive. I'm technologically challenged, so you have to sort of read between the lines. But Clifton did suggest that we do that, and we put this on a computer hard drive by itself so that we would never ever lose what we have. If one of these CDs got broken, or the original tapes got destroyed or went bad, because the CDs do not last forever. I thought they did, but they don't. All this will be on his hard drive, and he can reproduce them fairly easily. He said if anybody wanted a certain year for $10, which is practically his cost on the CD, and maybe $2 shipping and handling, if you would give that to Harriet today, whoever, Harriet,
Back there.
okay, give her your address and what year you'd want. He can even mail it to you.
What do we start
that's
with?
good. We start with, well, we've got the original that Tim had done on VCR for us, which got us kicked off on that. We don't thank Tim for getting started on this program.
Good deal, Tim.
But all the real old ones back that Jimmy Edwards did back in the 40s, 50s. We have some Lacey Koontz Jr. did back in the 60s. All those are on one tape. Those are ones that most of you, like the older than myself, would like to see, because you remember those. Your grandfathers on there, your fathers are on there. Then back when I started doing, Bob Redwine started doing them in the 80s. So we have from the 80s on up to present time also, year by year. So you can get all that put together too. So all this is very valuable, and I'm sure you'd love to see it, and keep it for your children to look at
How
one
many
day.
CDs have you all together?
I've probably got 25 CDs.
25 CDs. Okay.
We almost have it.
So that's good. We're in good shape on them right now.
Yeah. And I suppose if you wanted them all, you didn't want to get them all at once, you could start one year and get
Right.
a few of them and then go on up.
But
Way up.
the hard drive was, we estimated about $150 for the hard drive. Clifton was in, I believe it was Best Buy somewhere, and he said he found it for $50, so he went ahead and bought it. So I told him, hey, that's great. It saved us $100, so we owe him $50 yet for that. So that'll come out next year. So if it's approved to do that, if not, I'll pay him myself, because I'm glad that we had to get that.
Okay, is everybody approved?
How long did that take? How long did that take?
That basket hasn't
No,
gone around.
since we started this process.
I'm only thinking about what.
Take the minutes.
But I'm never accused him of being fast.
That's okay. Well, what, does that mean the $50 for the hard drive? Okay. Okay, Terry made the motion to approve it. Tim made the motion, seconded it, so it's approved, so we can go ahead and pay you for that. Okay, and don't forget to let her know, Harriet know if there's any particular year that you want.
Now, I also have some, if you just want to borrow one, I've got them. You can get them. I'll write your name down. You just need to get them back to me. If you want to make your own copy, that's fine. Clifton would rather for you to make your own copy, if that's what you want to do. If you have a CD burner, I have those that you can get today. Take them home this afternoon, look at them, bring them back, whatever.
Okay, that's great.
Did you say the ones that Lacey made was all on one day?
Yeah, they're all on one CD.
I'd like.
Okay, and I'd also like to remind everybody that has a family that are here today, when we're all finished, Jimmy will take a picture over here like he did this done in the past few years. Get your whole family together and put them over here, and he'll take a picture.
That way we can identify who you are, because the CD, the pictures we're taking now, we don't know who you are unless you come over here and tell us who you are.
Okay? Now, Well, Dick and Lou and the whole family went to speak.
Well, didn't they just plan that appropriately?
I told him, I said, you're just afraid you're gonna get nominated.
We can still nominate them, they don't have to nominate me. I have been nominated and not been there.
Sandra will send him a card.
Yeah, we'll send him a card.
You won.
Okay, new business. Anybody have any new business that you want to talk about? I have one thing, and I'm asking everybody for a little bit of input here. We need to get more people here. We need to get this back the way it was. This is a unique reunion. I mean, 78 years we've been doing this, and I can't see it dwindling like it's dwindling. So has anybody got any suggestions of how we can bring this back to its full life?
You gotta go back to the direction.
I thought, well, maybe if we had like gospel singers come, maybe that would draw people. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that's great for us older people. We'd like to have a program and that type of thing and entertainment. Most of the younger ones want to get in here so they can get it done, get it out. They're not interested in staying and talking. Now we can if they want to, but I think they want to have fellowship, and they got other things they want to do. That's just my opinion.
What about you younger folks? Give me some input here. What would draw younger folks here?
Better direction.
I think everybody ought to grab somebody first.
That's the new thing, Johnny.
Bring everybody.
Right.
Just encourage those that aren't here to come, because, you know, we don't see, your people travel a long way, because they might want to spend more time fellowshipping and seeing people that we don't always see, you know, rather than, you know, having some, you know, a program or something. They might just enjoy playing and visiting and kids out on the playground and stuff like that, you know, rather than, I don't know.
Just grab somebody and bring them and say,
Well, no, not gonna see anybody, just tell your relatives, just come on down, we're gonna have the 79th, and then the next year's the 80th, now that is historic right
that
there.
is. And we
We
ought
ought to have a hoedown or something,
yeah, that would be awesome.
we ought to have something
You
going
ought
on.
to be able to dance by then.
Huh?
You ought to be able to dance by then.
Yeah, me and Donna here, we can dance.
That's something to remember. We ought to plan a big thing for that.
Well, I plan a big thing for the 80th, I mean, just think about it, go tell your relatives, you know, everybody, there's Michaels and Leonards, everybody related.
Patty, you know, how would you like to?
No, Patty knows that the Michaels and the Leonards,
Oh, yes, I agreed with you, yes.
everybody in this county is, I'll just say related, and interbred, but anyway.
Hey, Sandra,
I think for the 80th one, we should get a bunch of watermelon like we used to and go out back and have it.
oh, yeah.
Tell you what, me and Johnny Koontz tried down about 10 years ago.
I'm telling you, I used to live for the watermelon seed place when I was younger.
That's what we were playing. Everybody eat, had meat and food, they were gone. Tell them, Johnny. You hear me?
Need to get away from it.
If you can think of any really good plan, let's start now planning for the 80th. That would be,
Like the 80th should be a big deal.
yeah, the 80th should be a big one. Yeah, it should be. Okay, that was
Okay, Lucille and Farrell celebrated their 75th wedding anniversary back in, was it March or April? 75th wedding.
75th wedding anniversary. Okay, we have the youngest. This is gonna be good. We got a lot of little babies here.
Say, I don't know, how old is your baby? Oh, that
We got a lot of little babies.
got a lot of babies.
How old is this one?
March 8th.
Okay, he was born May the 6th.
Oh.
Anybody younger than May 6th?
May 6th. Live with his baby.
Okay.
You're welcome. I'll take the picture.
Simon James.
Simon James Koontz.
We're proud of you, sir.
Did you get Simon?
I did.
Gotta tell her today.
I can fall asleep on the way home.
Oh, you got three handbags.
Got a lot of family members here.
18. You got 18?
Wow.
I'm sorry, all my kids couldn't be here.
That'd be amazing. It's but 18. There we go.
That's amazing.
She's always the latest.
Yeah.
Patty's gonna, everybody's attention, please, Patty. Patty Linderville is gonna offer her memorial service for us.
Oh, y'all didn't know, I came from Hollywood, South Carolina.
Luzette was right, we do have something really to be thankful for and to celebrate. And before I get started and talking about Lucille and Farrell, I can't say enough about all that they've done for us and the community for the Koontzes. And they had a big celebration here for their 75th anniversary. We are very thankful for them for being here and just blessed that you're both here as an inspiration to all of us, part of the Koontz family, for longevity of a happy married life, and we appreciate you so very much. So I wanted to say that. Mr. President. I only had Betty Koontz Sowers that had passed away, and Robbie had given me the name of Butch Chandler. Does anyone have any other names, any other family members that I may not have that may have passed away this past year before I get started? Because many times, if there are, if someone, if you do, I just want to make sure that we always know about it as I prepare for this each year. I would like to start off with remembering James Chandler, known as Butch. He was Robbie's first husband, and
He passed away this year, and we would like to remember him because many of us remember him coming and spending time with us here at the Koontz Reunion and with his family. James Bennett, also known as Butch Chandler, 61, went home to be with his Lord and Savior on Sunday, April the 15th, 2012. He was born October 30th, 1950 in Albemarle and graduated from North Stanley High School in 1969. A member of Wesley Chapel United Methodist Church, he was disabled and he was last employed by American Fiber and Finish. He lived in the village of Meisenheimer, fishing with his late father and 2 sons, and his model trains were among his favorite pastimes. He will be remembered for his unique laugh and joking ways. He was the son of the late Thurman L. Pete Chandler and Peggy S. Chandler of New London, who survives. His grandparents were the late Norman and T.O. Chandler and Louis and Faye Sides Sr. He was a loving father to his 2 sons, Aaron James Chandler and Ashlyn, and Joshua Alexander Chandler, and proud grandfather to infant grandson, Bentley James Chandler. The mother of his boys, Robbie Russell, even though they were divorced, remained his friend and will miss him. He'll be missed by his sisters, Dorinda C. Hathcock and Susan C. Hathcock, a brother, David A. Chandler, and a niece, Amy Coach. He is survived by an uncle, Benny Chandler of Denton, and an aunt, Claudine Carter of New London, and numerous cousins whom he loved. He did receive a private funeral service, and the families will be gathering for family and friends to remember to celebrate his life, which was in May 2012. The other memory that I'd like to honor is Betty Koontz Sowers. Elizabeth, also known as Betty Koontz Sowers, 78, of Arnold Road, died June the 27th, 2011 at Lexington Healthcare. The memorial service was held Friday at Davidson Funeral Home Chapel in Lexington by Reverend Dr. Lee S. Dukes III. Betty was born in Lexington on October 28, 1932, to Charles Odell Buck Koontz and Edith Oakley Koontz. She was a graduate of Welcome High School and Catawba College and earned her master's degree from the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. She worked in the Davidson County school system as a teacher and a media specialist for 25 years, retiring in 1992. She was very interested in Davidson County history and genealogy, and she was the co-editor of Homespun magazine in Davidson County and wrote numerous articles on various historical topics. In addition to her parents, she was preceded in death by her brother, Jerry Koontz. Survivors include her husband of 58 years, Max Sowers of the home, sons Marty Sowers and wife Kay Hoover Sowers of Charlotte, and great Gary Sowers and wife Kathy Pivadall of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Grandchildren Christine, Charlie, and David Sowers, all of Charlotte, and a brother and sister-in-law, Carlisle and Lou Koontz of Hermitage, Tennessee. Memorials were made to Lexington Public Library or the Davidson County Historical Museum Foundation. To say a little bit about Betty, I remember Betty as she was always the one that just kept our history flowing to the Koontz Reunion and the Koontz family. She just, for the Homespun magazines and all the other things that she's done for our county, and being the librarian and known by so many, we were so blessed to have her as part of the family. On July 1st, 2011, there was a memorial service to celebrate the life of Elizabeth Koontz, or Betty Sowers. Betty and Max were the parents of Marty and Gary, as I stated. And she graduated from Welcome in 1950 and went back to teach there in 1955. She was a librarian as well as a teacher, and her love of books led her to be co-author of the Homespun magazine. She interviewed many people and visited many places to cover much of Davidson County. I personally found it interesting how she wrote about her grandfather, Charlie Alexander Koontz, one of our family, whom I'm sure was one of the first Koontzes to settle in the Arnold community. I want to share part of her writing. Some of you knew him, some have heard his name, others have never heard of him. But I think there's a lesson here for all of us as Betty tells his story. It always rains when old folks die. My grandfather was walking encyclopedia of folklore. He planted by the moon, told by the sun, predicted the weather by the signs, and knew all the old home remedies for the common everyday aches and pains. Everybody for miles around the little community of Arnold knew Charlie Koontz because he ran the country store in the crossroad field near our house. He was known for his far and wide as Uncle Charlie, but to 3 grandchildren who lived in his house, my 2 brothers and me, he was known simply as Pa. Our family had come to live with Pa when his wife died in 1931, and for the next 20 years we were to feel his powerful influence, and his character was to shape our lives as none before or since. As children, we loved to go to Pa's room at night and sit around the roaring fire in his big old rocking chairs, listening to the ghost stories and tall tales he loved to spin. He nearly always had tenderloin or country ham roasting over the fire and potatoes nestled in the hot coals. As teenagers, we sometimes felt his wrath and became resentful of an old man who dared to tell us how to live our lives, who worried when we stayed out too late, and tried to tell us how to dress and how to act, and even tried to pick our friends. We didn't realize it then, but now we know that this was Pa's way of saying, I love you. But in his role of brother prophet, Pa reigned supreme, and we thought him infallible. He knew how to predict the rain, the snow, the frost, the hail, the hot weather, and the cold, the wet seasons and the dry ones. He knew when a cloud was coming over or when it was going up the river. The first cool spell in autumn meant frost in 6 weeks. A heavy crop of persimmons, a large crop of nuts, and the thick shucks on the corn were all signs of a hard, cold winter. He predicted the snow by a certain look in the sky and the sound of the fire in his fireplace. Get in the wood, boys. Get in the wood, boys, he would say on a gray day in December. It's smooth, cloudy, and the fire's tramping snow. We knew we could count on a cool rain around the last of May, the sheep rain, Paul would call it, because it always rained when the farmers sheared their sheep. Rain on the first day of dog days was a sure sign of rain for the next 40 days. If the first thunder cloud of the summer came over, it meant a good growing season and money in the pockets for the farmers. Because of Pa, we believed that if a turtle bit you, he wouldn't turn loose until it thundered. That if it rained while the sun was shining, the devil was beating his wife behind the door for burning the biscuits. That if it thundered in the winter, we would have snow in 9 days, and if the snow stayed on the ground for 7 days, it was waiting around for more. And that the fogs of August foretold the snows of winter. But most strongly of all, we believed in Pa's home remedies. It seemed he had a cure for everything. He spit tobacco juice on a bee sting, with kerosene on a cut, fat back on a boil, and could even get something out of your eye with the hair from a horse's tail. But he was most famous for his cure for sprains, a never-fail combination of honey, vinegar, and egg whites. Pa believed in the Signs and Blooms Almanac was his old standby. He made his kraut in a big barrel when the moon was on the increase, cut his stove wood during the light nights of the month, killed hogs about a week after the full of the moon so that the grease would fry out, dug his potatoes before dog days so they wouldn't rot, and planted his corn when the maple leaves were as big as squirrel's ears. Pa had seen a lot of change in his lifetime. He grew up in the horse and buggy days, could easily remember the Wright brothers' flight at Kitty Hawk, Lindbergh's fantastic trip across the Atlantic, and lived to see his grandson, my brother Carlisle, fly a jet faster than the speed of sound. I just wish he could have been with us when we heard astronaut Neil Armstrong announce that the Eagle had landed on the moon. Pa would have loved that. Pa was buried at Wheeler church beside his wife Bessie, who died before I was born. When they carried his casket to the cemetery, a light rain began to fall. I smiled through my tears as my brothers, as we remembered that Paul said that always rains when old folks die. Betty continued to pursue her interest in the stories of many family members and friends. After she stopped teaching, working at home on her computer, she compiled their stories and even added many pictures to complete her work as you see it today. And today, I just want to remember, I wanted to share this story with you because it's something that Betty wrote about us and our family as we pay tribute to a very talented lady that we were blessed to have a part of our family. Let us close in prayer. Most gracious Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for bringing us all here today for this family Koontz reunion, Lord. I thank you so much for all the many blessings that you've given us through all these years. And I thank you especially, Lord, for our heritage and for our families that started this gathering so many years ago here in this land, Lord. That you give us this desire to carry this on and the memories that we have. And each year, Lord, we're sorry to celebrate those that have passed on, Lord, but we want today to pay tribute to Betty and to remember our family and Butch and those that meant so much to us. And now, Lord, I ask that you bless each and every one of us today. Lead, God, and direct us in all that we say and do. And Lord, I pray a special prayer for us, whether we have a half a mile down the road to go or back to Massachusetts or back to South Carolina, Lord. I just pray that you give us all traveling grace. And until we meet again, may you just hold us in your hands. In Jesus' name I pray.
Also, Betty Koontz was treasurer of the Koontz Reunion for, I can't tell you how many years. She gave it up in '95, and that's when I took it. And I think when I started coming in, well, a long time ago, I think she was treasurer back then, and that was probably, I started coming in '69 and '70, so she probably was treasurer for 25 years.
It's election time. Jim, you been thinking? You think anybody? Okay, well, I'm not sure how this works, but I think I've been the president for 2 years. So
Yeah, me too.
Once she's kind of getting the groove of secretary, let her keep that for a while.
Mindy too.
Yeah, she always makes it celebrity secretary.
She did.
So, yeah, we have a
did
couple more
really.
years
Would
getting
you
together.
consider staying on as secretary? Okay, good. Now we need a vice president. Diane. Mike.
Oh,
Jerry had his hand up. All right, kids. All
What
right.
about the guy that's not here? I thought we were gonna make him the vice president.
They've probably done it for 100 years. Oh, yeah.
I don't mind.
So, you want to
There's nobody else to fill out.
You must be Diane, she's been on for a couple of years, you know?
I'll nominate Patty Coon. Patty Lookabill.
All right, I nominate Patty Lookabell. And the reason I do that is because we need somebody local for one of these offices.
I nominated she could start next year.
I didn't volunteer for that part.
Okay, nominate Patty Lookabell.
I'll second that.
I'll second that.
Okay, we've got Patty has been nominated and seconded, so you are now the vice president.
Good.
Okay?
I can make it.
All
we can eat, and then those that wanna go play volleyball can go play volleyball and have that set up, and those that wanna stay stay in the air conditioning.
Charleston, when they have their Greek festival, it's all about their culture and have Greek dancing, Greek food, and I think we should try to go back to our heritage and bring some of that in, cause it's like, when I bring my kids, it's like, well, what do we go for? You know, like, they don't get any of our ancestry stuff here. One time we had a show up there showed the original church that our ancestors
coming to
went
watch
to.
the video.
We used to
Yeah.
watch movies in the big,
Over in the
big
building, we
church.
used to go in and watch videos.
Yeah, the movies, you know, the movies ran all day. Yeah. Put this all down and let's work on this for the idiot.
German shoes, so I don't have to sweat.
Oh, you got shorthand?
German beer.
German music and some of the German dance.
Yeah, you know, if we had movies, my kids would like that, to see their parents. But why did we
Yeah, but
stop
now you can watch them all at home.
We'll get it set up for,
That probably, you try and nail the kids down and do that, they don't want to use it. Okay, Jimmy, is that okay?
Sure.
yeah.
Okay, that's, everybody make a motion to put that. Then if they see a movie they want, they'll know that's the one they want
True,
to buy.
true. No problem.
Okay. I think that's a great idea. Everybody else agree? We can start that next year if it's okay.
I mean, that's the way it used to be. If you run all day, you can swing in and sit down 10 minutes and walk out and read the.
And if you maybe put a little thing on top of which one, the number of the one that's playing, then if you want it, you can buy it.
Yeah, it'll tell at the start of each one what.
Oh, it will, all right, there we go. Okay, everybody agree on that? Sure. Yeah. Okay. Very good. It's, seconded and we're all set, and we're set with the elections, and now I'm going to adjourn this meeting, and I give you all my love and prayers, and thank you very much for a great 2 years. I've enjoyed it tremendously.
I hope y'all enjoyed that, because it ain't gonna be like that next year.
Thank you, Sandra.
One for the new generation.
If you have not signed the book, the login book over there right by the door, please be sure and do it on your way out. Okay, if you really need those signatures.
Hey, they're already talking about assassinating the president.
This is the Jimmy Koontz family. Jimmy Koontz, Luzette Koontz, Catherine Koontz, Chris Koontz, and our newest member, Simon James Koontz.
He was the youngest member of the Koontz Reunion this year. Y'all keep spitting babies out.
Tell them you are. You're on video. I'm Patty Koontz, Lookabelle,
Take care of all of them.
Charles and Maxine's daughter. This is my mom, Maxine Koontz. My husband, Reggie Lookabelle.
And I'm Harriet Murphy, daughter of Banks and Evelyn Evans, and a descendant of Harry and Viola Koontz.
Hi, I'm Nina Conroy. This is my husband David, and this is our family. This is Michael and Brandy and Landon Tabor. Brian is Brandy's dad, and Ellen is his wife. Jessica and Troy. Jessica is his other daughter. This is my daughter Samantha, and Marcy. And her two children, Samantha and Shauna, and Samantha and Dustin's children, Leland and Danny. This is my son Mike and his wife Liz, and their son Michael is up in the corner.
Who started this clan?
I did. No.
Above
I
you.
know. Marjorie and No Koontz.
Mom was Agnes Koontz Miller. My dad was Cecil Miller. My grandpa was Luther Koontz. And his wife was Dyson. And he was, I think, one
You are?
I am Gene Miller, and this is my wife, Becky. Part of the time.
53 years.
53 years.
All right, I'm